Welcome to Show and Tell. In this series, I review brand new games quickly and with as much detail as possible. Ready? Go. Heart.Break, open bracket, close bracket, is an interesting game. It's a point-and-click adventure with an emphasis on hacking, the main mechanic of the game. And it's not the video game kind of hacking mini-game you might imagine, but actual coding. I'm not a programmer or someone who works with code really at all, and I was able to pick up and understand it. It's really not that complicated, though I imagine you could make it complicated if you wanted to, because pretty much everything you interact with in this game is hackable. In this universe, computers are not the only things that have code. Everything from fuse boxes to cups of coffee can be hacked and have their attributes changed. This adds this feeling of incredible freedom when you're playing, because don't like the color of that lamp? Make it blue, turn it off, do a whole bunch of things with it that I never figured out. The thing for me that brought the game down was the pace. Now, this is entirely dependent on what kind of gamer you are. I like to go through games quickly, and I like to know clearly that I am progressing with whatever it is I choose to do in the game. Else Heart.Break is incredibly slow. You typically won't receive the ability to hack, which is, by the way, the only real mechanic in the game, until a number of hours in. Is this necessarily a bad thing? No, it just wasn't an aspect of the game I personally appreciated. If you enjoy a slow pace, then it might be fine. Just know that for me it was about 3 to 4 hours before I could hack, though I think I'm right in saying you can start hacking pretty early if you talk to the right characters. And that's something else I liked about the game. The story seems like it's pretty non-linear. I say I think because I just don't have time to play through the game over and over and test it. There weren't really any choices that would set the game on a completely different path, but it seems like there are several ways to maybe skip sections of the game or talk to the right people in a way that lets you get to the end of the game quickly. I'd be interested to watch speedruns, is what I'm saying. And if you like, you can spend hours and hours doing weird little side quests for characters you like, trying to earn money, or just learning about the world, though that just wasn't something I personally was too interested in doing. That said, I think it's relevant that this is coming from someone who is massively excited for a game like Fallout 4 and has every achievement in Skyrim. I mean, I kind of feel like that says more about Else Heart.Break than it does about me. The actual gameplay, though, is completely non-linear. Basically, you're going to be given problems in the game and you have to figure out how you're going to solve them. I'll use an interesting example. I wanted to overcome the problem I had with the game, the slow pace, so whenever someone would say, "Meet me tomorrow at 4 p.m, normally I'd have to wait several real-life minutes to reach that time, but I hacked myself a solution. I would modify a coffee or really anything my character could consume and added a line of code like sleepiness plus 5 million, and my character would just instantly fall asleep and some time would pass when they consumed it. Now, obviously that doesn't represent the problems the game gives you, but I don't want to give you one of those examples because that would be a spoiler, and I think that example is a pretty accurate depiction of what it's like to play this game. The story didn't really do it for me. I wasn't a huge fan of the dialogue most of the time. There were some funny little jokes in there, but for the most part it was pretty realistic, and I don't mean that as a compliment, by the way. The way people interact just wasn't very interesting for me. It was a lot of, "Hey, how are you? I'm good, that's cool," and other awkward interactions like that sure happen in real life, but just felt boring to read. I play video games and consume media because people in real life are boring and I want to meet some interesting characters, but none of these characters were interesting. It also didn't help that the main character is infatuated with the love interest right from the get-go, which creates a disconnect immediately with the player, who has seen nothing special about this girl that the other 10 girls he spoke to up until this point didn't have. Though that might be more of a personal thing, I just didn't identify with the main character very well. The actual story is also kind of lackluster. I thought the world and premise were cool, that everything has a code and therefore could be hacked, but I just wasn't engaged with the story, and I'm going to chalk that up to not being interested in the characters, which in turn means that the core problem for me was a lack of character development and boring dialogue. It's a shame because there's a lot of good in this game, but the $25 asking price is really steep. Admittedly, it's 25% off on release, which means, if I've calculated it correctly, it's $17.50 right now. But even then, I'm not sure it's completely worth it. It's got a lot of content, but in terms of a quality to price ratio, it's a hard sell. If you're really into coding, you might enjoy the game, because I'm sure you could write some crazy code that crashes the game or something, but then if you're a coder, the one thing you probably aren't lacking is a sandbox. You could do all of this stuff much easier with a program designed to take code. If the game goes on sale for $10 or maybe $12, I think it couldn't hurt to try if you're interested in the mechanics or the world. You probably will enjoy your time with this game to some extent, but only if the price is right. Thanks for watching. If I helped you with your purchasing decision, then please leave me a like, because that makes it easier for other people to find this video. If I didn't, leave me a dislike guilt-free, and try to leave me a comment with feedback on how I can improve for next time. See ya!